Hi, everybody. This is Will Shine here. I'm a musician at Hyde Park United Methodist Church. You've seen some of the stuff I've done in the past, and/or you've seen me on stage with the contemporary band at the main campus or at the Portico. I've got my friend Aditya Rao here today, and we're going to
Hey,
talk a little bit
everyone.
about something we worked on together.
Funny story how we met. My wife and Will's wife were best friends through school and college. They both studied in India. They went to school in Chennai in India. And then somehow I found my wife, who was in New York at the time, while I was in LA. We got married. She moved to California with me. Luck has it that Will and Yasha at the time also lived in Pasadena, and we ended up moving to the same area. And it's been butterflies ever since. We've been really we've been really close for quite a few years now. So we kind of serendipitously met. To keep it really short, I'd like to preface this by making it really easy for everyone by saying I'm 100% American and I'm 100% Indian at the same time. So, diving a little bit more into what that means is I was born in India, but then I moved to the United States when I was 8 years old. But I spent each of my summers through grade school, so third all the way through 12th in high school, back in India, spending time with my grandparents, the rest of my family, keeping in tune with my culture, and also learning Indian classical vocal music. So my music today is really a culmination of all of those backgrounds and styles in India and in the Western Hemisphere. So I was part of choir, jazz band, what have you, like all through school. So all of the music that I have worked on and am currently working on encompasses all of my musical backgrounds. Interesting fusion, yeah. I've been really lucky to work with a lot of fusion-esque artists in the United States. I've been a background vocalist for Carlos Santana, who is probably the epitome of fusion music and a huge influence for me growing up. And then in India, I work with the Grammy award-winning director A.R. Rahman, who has done quite a multitude of films in India as well as in the US. So I've been very lucky to have all these experiences under my belt, so early on. I can't wait to see what happens in the coming days.
Wow. And I sometimes get to tag along and hold on to the
Yeah.
coattails, as it were. Yeah, it's been a fun ride to watch your musical career evolve and grow and to now get to be a part of it.
Actually, a couple months back during the early onset of COVID-19. It was just a tremendously difficult time for the entire world to come to terms with what was happening everywhere. While the COVID-19 virus is completely devastating, somehow it has put everyone under the same situation, trying to figure out what to do next and where to go next. That, in my mind, causes a certain level of anxiety, a certain level of what am I going to do in the future, or what are we as a society going to do in the future. So I had this idea of looking into scripts, texts, poems from various cultures all over the world and trying to figure out what harmony and peace means to each of these cultures. So, with your help, Will, we looked into various texts, scriptures, religions, and tried to figure out what those few lines may be to put people at ease in these types of times.
The opportunity to look at different religious traditions and sacred texts, whether that be scripture pieces or fragments of prayers, whether they be historical or just sort of contemporary interpretations, we were able to kind of amalgamate a lot of these different phrases and then melodic fragments. That
Yep.
was really cool because even the first version of this that we've done is a combination of melodic fragments that you and I hadn't necessarily bounced off each other. We agreed that we're
Sure.
going to do it in a certain key at a
Yep.
certain frequency. In fact, we decided to down tune from a 440 standard tuning to a 432, which is
Yep.
a richer sort of sound, and
Mhm.
some might argue is a little bit more pure and ancient. There's also the idea that there would be this sort of drone, and then the rest of it was you just collecting from, I know, some Islamic tradition, some Buddhist
Mhm.
tradition, Hindu traditions, some Latins, an old Kyrie that I just came up with a new melody for, and we just found a way through your mixing patience and genius. We're on two different sides of a continent here, back and forth, put this thing together, and then sat through edited video together, and we now have this piece that I think had a pretty good reach in its
Yeah.
first debut through kind of our social media accounts, and now we're excited to share it here, and we hope that it brings that sense of calming, reduction of anxiety, and hope for the future.
Yeah, I think we wanted to make sure that it was sonically peaceful to anyone in the world who heard it, which is why through our research we saw that any key in the frequency of 432 hertz is said to be calming for the body. The waves that go through your body when you hear something at that frequency, theoretically, it's meant to put you at ease. Just a sense of calm. And we wanted to make sure that the words being said aren't being interpreted by only one type of audience. So it's truly a global production for a global audience with the single goal of getting anyone a little calmer than they were a couple minutes before.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Adi. And without further ado, here is Frequency Prayer, Volume 1. Enjoy.
Enjoy, guys.